All right, so the 226 may not have been chosen by the Army, but it did impress some people in the Navy. Have you guys ever heard of the Navy SEALs?
Who they?
Apparently they're pretty cool or something. But yeah, they really like the 226, and in fact, the SEALs did not like the Beretta. Now, there are many working theories as to why the SEALs did not like the Beretta M9. The best theory that I found was that the SEALs had an incident where a slide separated on a Beretta and struck a SEAL operator in the face. There is a report released by the GAO, General Accounting Office, that shows the Navy had 3 separate slide failures under operational conditions that show recorded injuries for all 3. The report further called out specific injuries, such as face lacerations requiring stitches, broken teeth in one case, and significant chest bruising, whatever that means. But anyways, imagine taking a slide to the face from a Beretta. The back of that slide is pointed.
It's like a harpoon. I'm just trying to think, how would that work, though?
What is it like? Fracture? So, like, they milled down the slide significantly, so most of the barrel's exposed. So are we talking about, like, stress fractures? Like,
Yes.
right where, like, the breached extractor firing pin,
Nailed it.
like,
So you're saying the
milled
slide,
through.
Right on that cut.
so you're saying
So
that the slide cut came in half.
pretty much. So where the
Okay, that
where the
makes a lot
hood
more
stops,
sense.
the
Yeah.
rear hood stops, there's those 2 squares milled into the slide for the locking block to come in. It would crack right along there.
And I don't want to speak badly of Beretta, but I think that they still sometimes have that problem. Oh, you have a little diagram.
Yeah, I have the little diagram. It's going to get posted on the screen for the viewers to see, but
Which-
you can see those.
I think there are still some competitive shooters who keep running into those issues with Beretta, like M9 variants, that
But the
they,
one
after a
variant-
certain round count, they have the stress fractures at the same spot.
The
Yeah,
A3s
do
and
you know
A4s are supposed to take care of that.
But no,
Okay.
and that's because they go with the G slide.
Right.
The
The
G slide
decock only.
Yes,
Yeah.
the G slide is a little bit beefier cut, I think, for some reason. I don't know
Also-
why, but
Remember the Brigadier?
that's what it is.
That was one of Beretta's responses to the breaking or cracking
Yeah.
slides, was the Brigadier
Because
slides.
I think the Brigadier slide and the G slide are the same, maybe.
But you could only, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you could only get a Brigadier in 40 cal. I think that's the truth. Anyways,
Do you know how many rounds like it would take?
I think I have.
Oh, it's
that.
for that
thousands.
happen?
It was
Yeah,
thousands.
It's that, like, it's, what was it?
That's a lot.
Someone has said it's like 30,000 or 40 something.
But-
Something where the average user would
yeah,
never
but
see
a
it.
competitive shooter, they'll go through that in a year.
But
Yeah,
I mean-
yeah, exactly.
I mean, your SEALs would go through that easily.
Eh,
But like you
in
would,
training or something, maybe.
yeah. But like, if that happened,
Well,
on,
especially
like
if they only had 3, if they only had like 5 or 10
That's
in
what
their
it is.
armory,
Yeah.
and they were letting them train with it to, like, you know, hey, which one do we want?
Yep.
That's gonna run through so many different hands, so many different like round counts.
Yeah.
And it's kind of good though, is it can elevate those failures more quickly.
Absolutely.
But
Best stress test you could get.
yeah.
Yep. So that theory made a lot of sense to me, and I know that early model Berettas had slide separation problems. That's why there's recoil buffers in some of them, the Brigadier slides, all that stuff. I'll post a picture of the where the failure parts are up on the screen for people to see. But the slide separation happened in 2 cuts in the slide to accommodate the locking lug. The Army never figured out exactly why the slides were failing, but were able to prove that all the broken slides came from Italy. All the slides that were manufactured in the U.S. never had any problems. So the Army started to only accept guns made entirely in the U.S., and it was assumed that there was an issue with the alloy, heat treat, or manufacturing process in Italy that was causing the problem. So they never figured it out. What do you guys think of the 92 series? I know you're a fan of them, aren't you?
I have one. I need to put it back together.
I have 2. I love both of mine.
They're
I don't have any Berettas.
Didn't you make sweet passionate love to Sam's? It's got like lower springs, fancy safety sights.
Yeah, so he bought a bunch of parts to soup it up, and then didn't know how to put it together. So I threw it all in, and it worked really well. I mean, we put in I think
it was Wilson Combat spring kits and stuff like that, right?
no, he wanted, like, it wasn't the combat, because he wanted, like,
The competition.
go fast,
Yeah.
low drag.
No, I'm saying Wilson Combat, the brand.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
make
yeah.
a spring kit and all that stuff for it.
And he put in like a stainless steel or titanium guide rod, all sorts of stuff.
It was a nice gun. I shot
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah, no, I mean, like, it was really easy to work on.
All right, back to the 226. So either way, the SEALs found the failures of the Beretta unacceptable and wanted to work with SIG to develop something that worked specifically around their missions. This collaboration led to the development of the Mark 24. So not the Mark 25. The Mark 24 was different from the original P226. It had a phosphate coating on all the internals to fight corrosion from seawater and harsh environments. It also had a stainless steel slide. This was a new thing for SIG. Prior to the Mark 24, the slide was simple folded steel with a stainless steel breech block. This was weird to me. The slide had a stainless steel breech block that needed replaced every 5,000 rounds. Yeah, that was the official service interval. Imagine having to change your breech block every season of USPSA, or like, you'd go through that.
It'd be 5 times a season.
Yeah, exactly. Like at least 3 for the average competitive shooter.
And you're probably doing 316 stainless because like that holds the best against the saltwater corrosion.
Oh yeah, I would believe it. I'd believe it. So yeah, they completely redid the slide, all that stuff. I guess in some cases, thank God they don't build them like they used to, because I wouldn't want that.
I'll tell you what, I have one. And I don't think people change the breech blocks in them.
So my Glock 44 aftermarket slide has a replaceable breech block.
I was gonna say my 226. I guarantee you the breech block has never been replaced.
Yeah, it probably shoots fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, just think how fast that would go through if it was just regular steel or anything, like what they usually do.
Well,
it's like saltwater.
Yeah, I mean, but you put on a good... Well, okay, so granted, we're talking 30, 40 years ago when this came out. So technology is way and far surpassed anything we had back then. Like, I understand why they did it that way, because phosphate coatings back then, they were good. But the whole metallurgical... being able to prevent corrosion science was still very early on in its infancy of being able to like come up with like these super crazy coatings. Like, we have the titanium nitride now and all sorts of crazy stuff, which that just wasn't a thing 40 years ago.
Well, like I shoot with a bunch of guys who are in their 70s and
we had bluing? Bluing was like the big treatment back then.
But I mean, like they don't understand that I don't clean my guns.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and like chrome plating or like stuff like that, or like chrome wine barrels
with what
however, wait, yeah, but like they're like, oh, you need to like swab out your barrel. I'm like, what?
All right, so now the Mark 24 was used up to 2011, so right about when we all started going to college, me for the second time. Yes, that recently, it was updated to use night sights and the mill standard 1930 pick rail up front instead of some weird rounded SIG proprietary design. Have you ever seen one of those? They look weird. They're very different than a normal rail. And that takes us up to the Mark 25 that we all know and love today. Yeah.
What was the night sights back then?
It was
tritium. Yeah, do you know tritium is actually
radioactive?
But it's a hydrogen. It's a form of hydrogen.
It's H3.
H3. Yeah, I didn't know that up until recently.
Even up until last night when we were listening to Bob Lazar.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That must be why that stuck in my head. Yeah. That was an interesting ride home while I was listening to Aliens and everybody was asleep.
Well, I was listening.
I was awake because I knew... Wait, where you heard it from?
Yeah, I don't know. I kept trying to sleep, but driving is hard to do while you're asleep. Anyways, so if you like the Mark 25, thank Beretta for their exploding 92s, okay? That's what gave us the Mark 25. Yeah, I'm a big fan. My Mark 25 that I have would be the gun that I would pick if I had to pick one gun. Like, it would be the gun. It's easy to use, decocker, bulletproof, mags are easy to find, 15 rounds. It's not the easiest to shoot fast accurately, but you could shoot it reasonably fast accurately. So, do you have a Mark 25 or a 226? You have a 226?
I have a 226.
You have a 226.
I have an OG folded slide 226.
Yeah, hang on to that. That thing's cool.
I think the only SIG I have is a 938 or the micro 1911s.
That's 938 or
938.
Okay.
Yep.
I love the decocker on the 226.
Same here.
Oh, man.
Same here. Easy to use. I've got the short reset trigger in mine as well, which is worth every penny. Hey, if you liked what you just saw, we do have full episodes on our YouTube channel that you can watch. We also have an email address that you can contact us at. It's rifledmedia@gmail.com. Send us an email. We would love to hear from you. Give us some feedback. Maybe leave us an idea for a topic you'd like us to cover. Also, if it's a really cool piece of information or just a really funny email, I will happily read it here on one of our episodes. So thanks for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we cannot wait to have you here next time.